Yeah.
Anyway. Do you remember what you promised me?
I promised you the greatest chat or skip ever.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Wait, do you remember what you promised me?
I promised you I'd reveal something.
So basically, for those who don't, for those of you listening, because no one would know.
For those that aren't stalking us in our homes.
Yeah. We had a conversation off air like last week when we recorded a different podcast, and and I was like, I just got all cocky about it because I just wanted to pump us up for this episode of Nothing But Static. I don't know why. And I was just like, yeah, it's gonna be the greatest chat or skip you have ever seen, and it's not. I mean, I'm not gonna. There's gonna be more skip than chat this week, put it that way. But my intention was good, and Chris goes, yeah, great. I'm gonna bring the greatest opening bit. We're gonna do I'm gonna bring a story or reveal a thing. And I said
great. a big reveal. I think I said I'd bring a big reveal.
Okay, well, you know what? Since you hyped it up off air,
okay,
and I've now reiterated the hyping, let's do it for real, Chris. What's the
Here's
thing?
my big reveal. Mm-hmm. My big reveal, and it's personal. It's deep. It's big. It's a big reveal. You know, so big, so personal that is this the way to do it? But we're live on air, and you're my boy. I'd want to reveal this to you. It's a special thing to reveal it to you, and doing it on the podcast feels right. You know, Dan. It's a big reveal.
Sure.
And what you're thinking here is there's two ways this is going.
Yeah. Yep.
He's either got something legitimately big to reveal,
or it's tiny and he's just been a dick. Yeah, go on.
Or he's hyping it up for comic effect.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is the longer I go, the more it's got to be one extreme or the other. But I'm not hyping, Dan. It's a big reveal. Again, is it a big reveal, or am I just hyping it?
I'm starting to think there's a third option, which is that you don't have anything and you're stalling. Or you flick through your teenage diary desperate for a thing to say.
It's a legitimately big reveal. It's a legitimately big reveal from me to you. Okay?
Gotcha.
You ready for my big reveal?
I'm ready.
Which way do you think it's going to go?
Comedy. Oh, no, sorry. Let me put it in comedy.
It's not comedy, Dan. It's a big reveal. It's a legitimately massive reveal.
I kind of snorted when I laughed so hard. Go on.
It's a legitimately massive reveal.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That I'm telling you. Podcaster to podcaster. But more than that. Friend to friend.
Yep.
Okay. All being well.
Yep.
All going well.
Uh-huh.
When you put this live on Sunday,
mm-hmm.
I will be engaged.
Whoa.
I did say.
I mean...
I did say it was a big reveal.
That's... comedy.
You said comedy!
Holy... And I like that, by the way, you've put the proviso in of all being well and all going well. You've put in a clause to protect you from her saying no.
Mate, I'll be honest with you. If she says no, I'll probably ring you up and be like, I know it's a pain, but could you edit the podcast?
Yeah, take it out. So that means if you're hearing this, listeners, Chris is engaged.
Legitimately, for because of the way I'm doing it, I'm not sure. I'm really.
Is this how she's finding out?
No. I'm banking on the fact that none of my close mates, apart from two, my cousin, three, they're the only people that say they listen to this. I'm going to tell them, and I'm banking on no one secretly listening because this is a kind of appropriate way for you to find out, and I thought it'd be a cool thing because of the big reveal thing, and hopefully you don't mind finding out this way. I thought it'd be fun to document it. But my fear is that someone who I probably should have told in another meme will find out this way. Do you see what I mean? Not everyone will know when this goes up, so there will be listeners of this podcast that will know before.
When is it happening? So we're recording this on Thursday, the 14th of September. This goes up on the 17th, which is the Sunday. So when are you doing it? When is the proposal happening?
I'm doing it on the Saturday.
Great. So this can still go up at midnight on Saturday into Sunday, and no one's gonna be telling her before
Yeah.
it happens. You've thought
Yeah,
that.
oh yeah. No, she's gonna, she's gonna.
Oh,
gonna
then
know.
anyone else who doesn't know who they felt they should know, fuck them. They didn't find out.
And I apologise now, but I'm making an effort. And if I fuck up, I'm making an effort to tell Jenny, Adam, and Ronnie, who are the only 3 people I can think of before this goes live. So apologies if I've missed anyone off that list.
So do we know
but
who's
yeah.
won? So we've established, I think, on this podcast in the past that the family, your family, have got a little thing going, a little pool for guessing when you're get engaged. Do you have you told your mum and she's looked smug? Do you know who's won?
Yeah, no, my mum has won, and in a way, I feel like my mum cheated because my mum planted a seed that I was never going to ignore, which is my dad's. By the way, are you okay with finding out this way?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
cool. Right, cool.
Yeah, why would I have a problem?
I don't know. I just checking you were.
Right, it could not have been more perfect. I was convinced you were about to be like, "I've got slightly longer hair than yesterday," or something stupid like that. You have no idea how amusing it is to be that wrong-footed when you are so convinced that the other person has got nothing. It must have been. I mean, I can't even imagine. I was so sure you had fuck all. So to come out with the only thing you could possibly say that'd make me go, huh, is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's the biggest ace card I could have.
Damn
Although, like, you know,
by the way,
if I ever tell you we're trying for a baby, remember.
Well, I'll remember comedy. Can I just say, by the way, I'm sure because the weird thing is, as this is going up, I feel like I'm in a weird situation here because this is going up after it's happened, and we're presuming that if this is in the podcast, then it's happened. She said yes, and everything's happy. Yes,
she will. I'm a big believer in I kind of get it when people there are elements that I can't control that I'm nervous about, and there are elements of the way I'm doing it that I'm nervous about. Her saying yes, I'm not nervous about because you can edit this fine. Because I'm a big believer in don't ask someone to marry you if you're not sure they say yes. Like,
no,
do you know what I mean?
No, 100%. But it still does happen. And the reason I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place is what I want to do right now is congratulate you, but that feels like I'd be jinxing it.
No. Trust me. She'll say yes.
Great. Well then, congrats. That's awesome.
Thank you very much.
That makes me very happy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
Words.
About you were saying about before we said about the ace card. Oh, I've started to explain something. Or
was it about your mum? About how she'd implanted the seed?
Yeah.
Explain.
So, my dad's mum and dad passed away before me and my sister were born, which is, always sucked because there's a set of grandparents we never knew, but heard nothing but wonderful things about. We got the keys to our first house together on my nan's birthday, and my his dad's birthday is Saturday.
Right.
So there's a symmetry, and the reason I'm doing it on that day specifically, it's handy because it's a Saturday and stuff. But it's the symmetry of the birthdays lining up.
That's good.
And I think my mum knew that if she planted that seed,
she was going to win.
Do you know what I mean? That I think mum knew that because she said, "Well, there's symmetry," and I'm like, "Why is there symmetry?" Because he doesn't talk about it, so I never knew that. She was like, "Well, that's Granddad's birthday, and you got the keys on your nan's birthday. I think it's that way round." So yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, again,
That's
congrats. And also the question everyone must be asking, which is how are you going to do it?
Well,
ready to talk about that, or is that a thing we need to keep?
No, I'll chat about that. This is why there's elements that could go wrong. So I know she'll say yes because we've discussed like getting engaged and where she'd want to do it, and she named a spot which is quite special to us along the canal. Mm-hmm. We live by a canal. It's very picturesque, very lovely. So my friend has invited us to a barbecue that doesn't exist. My friend's going to cancel that barbecue. I'm going to go, let's go for a walk along the canal. She's going to go, okay, fine. We'll go for a walk. And I've made jokes about how I've not got anything planned because everyone thinks I've got this big plan because I'm romantic. So I'm going to play it that I don't have a plan. And when I do it, afterwards, I'm going to say that my plan was to never have a plan because I'm useless. I always slip up. I always spoil things. I always fuck up and say something I shouldn't. So I'm going to convince her that I never had a plan and that I'm only doing it on that day because she won't know the meaning of the date, or at least won't be able to remember the date, I don't think. So I'm going to say that the plan was to never have a plan, and it's just coincidence that this barbecue got cancelled, so I thought I would take advantage. It felt right, kind of thing. And then do that, get engaged. And then I'm going to say, we live very close to my mum and dad. And I'm going to say that can we nip in and tell them? And at that point, as happy as she is, because, I'm a catch, she's going to, that's a joke, by the way. She's going to feel, I think, a slight tinge of sadness, just a slight one, because we get that moment with my mum and dad, but her mum and sister live in Scotland, so we won't have that moment with them. And that's, I think, going to make her be like, oh, that's, and then she's going to call her mum, and what's worse is she's not going to be able to get through. Then we're going to go into my mum and dad's, and I have flown her mum and sister down, so they will be there to get that. So,
wow,
the surprise. Because
you big romantic, you.
I know, yeah, I know, but also getting engaged on the canal and the rings are inherited, so I haven't spent any money anywhere else.
Might as well pay for a flight, right?
Yeah, exactly. Got the cash to spare.
I mean, you got out of the biggest cost you're gonna.
Yeah, exactly. It's got meaning. What? No, I'm joking.
Brilliant.
I've got to stop making that joke.
That's great.
I've made it a lot, including to my dad, and it's his mum's ring. So what noise did you just make?
Fucking hell, Chris. Oh. The thing is, Chris, you tell the story about you flying a family out, and it's like, oh, and then you say that, and it's like, oh, what a dick.
No. The ring means a hell of a lot.
No, I know. I'm kidding. Anyway, carry on.
And she'll never listen to this, but I really, my sister could have said I want the ring, and she didn't, which was lovely. She's already married and stuff like that, but so thank you to her. So I'm flying them down, basically, so that we get that moment with them. So
awesome.
It's that. So there's so many. Here are some of the unknowns, Dan. Here are where the nerves are. If it's raining, a little bit fucked.
Yep.
Just getting engaged in the kitchen because have to do it on that Saturday morning. Flown her mum and sister in. Have to do it.
Yep.
Okay, fine. They've got a. What if we go for the walk and Jess is just like, no, let's take a leisurely walk down, or let's go to your mum and dad's a bit later. They've never. Her mum has met my mum and dad, but never met my sister or her sister. Just potentially there, just sat there, waiting for us, and I can't hurry us along. So yeah, there's a lot of unknowns. So I'm nervous about that.
Have you looked at the weather?
Yeah, it should be all right in the morning.
Okay.
I know.
I've got different figures. Saturday morning at what time?
About well, this is the debate. Depends if it's raining, mate. But somewhere. My aim is to get to my mum and dad's by 11:15ish.
Oh no,
So
you'll be
you're
fine.
talking-
No, you'll be all right.
Yeah? When's it due to start raining?
Yeah, sort of towards 12:1ish.
Yeah, but you're looking at London, presumably, not where I live.
No, I've changed it to Newbury. I'm not a dick. not an idiot.
So yeah,
wow, that's cool.
That's my big reveal
and all, and that's certainly not extended the podcast by 15 minutes, and we've still not talked about TV. But Chris, sometimes these things need to happen.
You know what?
No.
I saw Jenny for lunch, and I said about it to her, and I said, I'm thinking of telling Dan live on the podcast. Should I do it? And she was like, well, yeah. She was like, I think that'd be really cool. She was like, she's a listener. And she was like, as a listener, we've got quite invested in you guys over 4 or 5 years. So I think that would be quite cool. And it's kind of, I thought about it afterwards and I was like, well, you would bring it up. Even, you know what I mean? If I didn't do it, if I just told you off air, or if you would bring it up on the podcast.
Yeah, but we'd have had the conversation we've just had off air, and then it would be a condensed
version for the podcast. So, apologies if you and all the listeners would have preferred a condensed version.
Well,
and then I was like, well, what if he reacts badly? What if he's like, mate, I don't like her. Don't do it.
Mate, have I ever given you any indication that that's...
No, you haven't. Like, and you said yourself that it very much felt different with Jess, and like you said a lot of lovely things when you met her. But and I think you saw this coming, which makes me laugh that I was expecting a little part of you when I was doing that to go.
It's because never in a million years did I think you'd tell me on the podcast. Not because that's like a bad idea or anything, but that's not normally your style.
That's fair.